Every plan is the best plan you've ever had until you get punched in the face. And this year I feel like I've got punched in the face, kicked in the gut, tripped from behind, and it's just nonstop. Welcome to the Hidden Summit podcast. My name is Kevin Valance and I will be your host. On this podcast, we're going to talk about fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and everything in between. If you find anything valuable in this episode, the only thing I'm ever going to ask you to do is subscribe so you can keep coming back and elevate your life to become better every single day. All right, welcome back. Happy Friday or whatever day you're watching this video. My name is Kevin and welcome to my show. This podcast is typically about fitness, nutrition, and everything in between. And today we're going to hit on one of those everything in between topics because it's on the top of my mind. I just got back from a trip earlier this week to Austin, Texas. And in Austin, I met up with the Founders Only Club. My buddy Eric puts on this little retreat every so often in different parts of the country where founders of startup companies come together and spend some time together working out, going in the sauna, going in the cold water, having conversations, eating meals together, making memories together, and just having the time that we don't get as people running businesses to spend time with other like-minded individuals. And that impacted me more than I can express. And what I mean by that is we are in a world where it's go, go, go all the time. And you don't need to be an entrepreneur to have that type of world around you. You can be a teacher, or you can be a nurse, or you can be a mom or a dad, or you can have 2 jobs, or 4 jobs, which I used to have years ago, and your world is just nonstop. And what I found is that stepping away from the routine and putting yourself in a position to be present, which I spoke on in a recent episode as well, you're able to have these amazing moments of conversation. And instead of just leaning into the amazing moments, I want to paint a picture for you of how it was for me. Right now, I'm going through a challenging time when it comes to some things at work, right? Every plan is the best plan you've ever had until you get punched in the face. And this year I feel like I've got punched in the face, kicked in the gut, tripped from behind, and it's just nonstop. So let's pause for a second. I'm 37 years old, I think. I'm blanking on that right now. Do we forget when we get older? I don't know. But I'm going to flash back to my early 30s when I had a job and working at a gym, and I had a busy day today, or so I made myself believe I had a busy day today, but comparable to now, it was not busy at all. Different, but not the same. And there were tough times, and in those tough times, it was mostly the thought process that went like this. When something hard happened, it hit me, and I would react to it. And that reaction was more along the lines of, this is not fair. Why does it have to be this way? And I'd huff and I'd puff and I'd talk shit about it to myself and complain, and then I'd go back in and everything would be fine. But it wouldn't be fine because eventually that course would repeat itself time and time and time again, whether it be eating at a restaurant or something at work, or some bullshit that a friend did that I didn't approve of. You just keep going through the same cycles. And I would bury down these thoughts and keep to myself and try and just push through the situation without actually trying to make the situation better. I don't want to say fix the situation, because I'm sure that there were some things that weren't fixable, but there were some things that I wanted to take care of in those moments that I just sort of shoved down inside and dealt with and huffed and puffed around, which built stress up in my body. So it didn't lead to better sleep or better training or recovery or fitness. It was just stress, which we don't want to have more stress than we need or that we take on in a day anyway. Nowadays, those stressors that I was just speaking of seem totally minuscule and unimportant, or just not anything to worry about compared to the things that I'm dealing with today. And I was telling a story at the event in Austin to some people about what I was dealing through and how I apologized if I was disconnected because I was trying to process and, just it's what you do. It's when you own a business and something doesn't go the way you expected it to go, and you hear about it, you want to be all in and fix it. And even if you're away, you want to take care of those things. So I was half present for one part of it, and I spoke about it. But then in those conversations, it was really inspiring to hear not one, two, three, but a handful of people inside of this conversation. Every single person in this conversation that we had talk on a time where they felt a similar way, where they had something gone wrong in their life. And to me, that was this moment that I needed to be a part of, to show this, to see that the resilience of these founders, these CEOs, these business-minded people who wanted to see success with their product and bring their product to the world because they knew that it would make the world a better place, fought for it through the good times, and then even more so during the hard times. And to be honest, after they spoke, I felt like I had no problems at all, because my problems seemed insignificant compared to what they told me that they had gone through. And I bring this up because maybe there's something that you're going through. Maybe it's big in your world and you're making it seem even bigger than it needs to be. Regardless of what you feel it is, I want you to understand that there's a couple things that we can look at. One, what is the root cause of this situation? Is it you, or is it someone else? If it's someone else, control the controllable. What can you do, not to fix it, but for yourself if someone else is in control of the situation? If it is something that you can control, what is the root problem? What is the root cause? And this one question right here is what helped me understand that regardless of how I felt in the moment, what I wanted to feel was going to be my guiding light. Meaning, what was I going to want to do to make this situation better, and how is it going to make me feel fulfilled in my actions moving forward? If I can't wake up and be ready to go to war, be excited about it, and be happy with the problems that we face, then I'm not going to win. But when I understand that I wake up and I'm going to go to war, and I'm going to have the best company that helps people over 30 years old build positive habits in mindset, nutrition, and movement to make decisions in their day-to-day, go in and out of the gym within an hour and see amazing results, and learn how to eat intuitively so they don't feel like shit every single day, I know that maybe what I'm doing right now isn't the way I want it to be, but if I continue to pivot on it, I'm going to find success in that. And those are the thoughts that I had in those moments, listening to other founders go through their hard times. And the thing is, if you're not surrounded by people who are there to listen to you and support you, and not just say like, oh, my problems are worse than yours, but hey, like, I understand where you are right now because I've been through something similar, and I'm not comparing, but I'm just showing you the thought process that I've been through when I've gone through this, then you need to get rid of those people and find other people in your life that are going to support you. Now, how do we do that as adults? Well, come to the Hidden Summit group. That's number one. That's the only thing I can actually speak of. If you want people in your life, or just come talk to me, and I'll find somebody that you can resonate with and talk to and have a conversation with, because I want you to win. And if you don't have that support in your life, and that support may not be at home, it may not be at work, it may not be with your family, go find a CrossFit gym, go find a run club. There are different things that you can join, and you might be uncomfortable there, but there are going to be people that support you there. And that's a big difference. It's letting your ego aside and leaving it at the door and walking into something knowing that you're going to be new, and you're going to be an outlier, and you're going to be someone who's going to need to be in a position to communicate with other people and just be welcoming of other people, to eventually have people that support you in a life that you want to lead. That is hard to do. But if you don't have that now, and you're circling back to the complaint side of things, and like, my life is filled with problems, and there's all problems and no solutions, it's either you fix it or you live with it and you stop complaining about it. Now, rant's over. Hold on. Let me circle back. It's funny how these things happen. I was talking with someone last week before I left, and this person is a director and a filmmaker, and I'm excited to continue the conversation with him, and there's a cool project that we're gonna do together and have some fun with, because I think being creative is something that I look forward to, and if I can do it in other ways outside of fitness, nutrition, and podcasting. I liked that. But he was talking to me about, he just happened to slide it in there. His directorial style and his vision is similar to Michael Mann, who actually just released this movie Ferrari. And I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, I haven't seen that one. I'm not sure when it came out. And it did just come out on digital release. And it happened to be on the airplane that we were taking home. So Lacey and I watched it, and yes, I think it was shot incredibly, and it would be better seen on a large television versus a small screen on an airplane. But the storyline is what I want to focus on. And the storyline is that Ferrari, which everybody knows what a Ferrari is, it's the greatest engine of all time, coolest looking car of all time. Like every single person knows what a Ferrari is, and if you saw the logo, you understand what that means and what that means to the Italian culture. There were multiple times in Ferrari's history where he could have lost the company, and they talk about some of those in the movie. But the truth is that he knew what he was doing was going to be worthwhile, and he didn't shift away from his plan. So all of this comes back to, if you have something that you want to do in this life, and you're not surrounded by, speaking to, or supported by the right people, it doesn't mean your idea is incorrect. It means that your idea is the right idea, but you were speaking to the wrong audience. And if you can shift that pivot slightly by surrounding yourself with people who you don't normally surround yourself by, me with this group of founders where I was new and I wanted to be a part of a community. It took a couple days, suffering, hot therapy, cold therapy, workouts, conversation, meals together. Now I walk away with a group of 20 to 30 men that I can actually connect with, ask questions to, listen to, ask for advice on different topics that I didn't have 48 hours earlier. And that's the power of putting yourself in an uncomfortable position when you have uncomfortable things going on, so you can learn resilience to understand that you'll be able to fight through these moments as they come day in and day out. Because remember, like I said in the beginning of this, things are going to happen. Life's going to be tough. I've been beat up this year already. But compared to when I was 30 years old to my 20s, I feel like I'm going to win no matter what. And before, I just felt like life was falling apart and everything wasn't fair. And that's a big difference. So as you listen to this, I rambled a little bit, but we're here. We're getting through it. Surround yourself with some amazing people. If you don't know where to find them, reach out to me and I will try and find somebody that you will connect with, whether it be inside my group or another group. I do not care. I just want you to have support. 2, that vulnerability and speaking about what it is that you're going through isn't a therapy session. It's a way so you can have a conversation and find new perspective on how to take action for a solution. And 3, all storms come to an end. So if you are going through something, keep fighting. You cannot lose if you do not quit. Resilience is going to be key in how you persevere and what you do along the way with the vision that you have. Fighting for what it is that you want is not a solo job. You can do that with amazing people around you. You just might not have them around you today. So I'll leave you with that. Have an amazing rest of your Friday. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.